Glamorous Christian high school teacher, 31, learns her fate after having sex with student in parking garage and after the junior-senior ball.
What was her fate?
Lindsay Westerfield, 31, has pleaded guilty to first-degree sexual misconduct charges. A Christian high school teacher in Washington State has been sentenced to... Why do they have to keep repeating this as a Christian high school teacher?
Well, to make it that much worse.
Yeah. And has been sentenced to 6 months of house arrest. That's
6 months.
If a guy did this to
15
a female
years.
Student, maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
With like 7 for good behavior, but you're also in the sex offender registry for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what this glamorous teacher looks like. She's a 6, 7.
Yeah, she's about, well, how old is she?
31. Okay, she's automatically a 4 or a 5 right there. Because the first wall approacheth.
Yeah, she's clacking through the walls. She was probably like a solid 7.5 when she was 18 to 25.
Yeah, I would have given her an 8 at that age.
Yeah, but you lose, 1 point, looks point every 7 years over the age of 25. Yeah. So she's coming up on the 1 point deduction.
She's coming up on the deduction. But the victim is now 23. She's 31 now. There's some math going on here. Detectives opened an investigation into her years ago, but progress is stalled until 2022. This article is from June of last year. Mm-hmm. So this had been going on for some time. The victim is now 23. Mm-hmm. So the victim was probably around 17, which means she was like 25 when this happened.
Yeah.
So let's see. 2 of the encounters in Westerfield were ultimately charged. Westerfield was charged with occurred after the victim turned 18. I mean, at that point,
yeah.
I mean, it's bad decision making, but there's no crime there. However, but in Washington, state law prohibits sexual relationships between students under the age of 21 and school employees who are at least 5 years their senior.
All right. Now,
hard
to do in a court. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. If the dude was 18 when this happened, okay, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's a bad decision, but there's no crime. Westerfield resigned from her position at the academy in 2019, shortly after the investigation was opened. Yeah, she was like 23, 24 years old. In addition to house arrest, the former teacher will be required to register as a sex offender for a decade.
Only 10 years?
Yeah, that's exactly. That was my
most of your life.
Yes, you're screwed. After undergoing unrelated treatment for 4.5 years. Unrelated treatment, what does that mean? The teacher and victim communicated via Snapchat, met up at one another's houses and in parking garages, and even once after the school's junior-senior ball. God. It was 3 years before the student coughed up additional helpful information. That's statute of limitations, though. Okay, I have to call bullshit on that. You can't just continuously run the clock on crimes. There's statute of limitations exists for a reason, and a lot of the rapé cases that come out was 26 years later. Oh, he touched me inappropriately in an elevator. Shut up.
It should be like the statute, like 7 years should be the statute of limitations for stuff like that.
At the most, I was ashamed, but you're not ashamed to come forward now. I realize this is a different topic. I realize that I'm rabbit holing slightly here.
I got you.
Bear with me though. These women want it both ways. They want to accuse a man of rape for touching a butt in an elevator 12, 14, 20, 24 years ago, but they don't want to be accused of rapé for screwing one of their own students. It's one of the most clear-cut lines in our culture. You don't touch the students if you're a teacher.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporters Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.